What's going on, guys? It's Chiefs Chat, episode 14. And in this episode, I got a special guest with me, Trintan HENDRIX. He's a great guy, a fantastic man, an absolutely beautiful man. Say
yes,
hi,
I
Trintan.
am.
Absolutely.
Hi. I'm beautiful.
So in this video, we're just going to talk about the Chiefs. We're just going to have kind of an unscripted talk about what's going on in Chiefs Kingdom because we got a bye week next week, so we don't have a game to talk about. So, we're just going to talk about what we think this Chiefs team is doing this year and, whether or not we think they're going to succeed in the postseason. So, your thoughts on this year so far, how the Chiefs are playing?
Well, Chiefs are doing great. I've only lost once, and it was against the Raiders. Pretty high-scoring game. Kind of got blown out, and we almost came back, but defense just let them score too many touchdowns is all it was. But overall, I think they're doing really well. We've had a decent schedule, unlike the Steelers they've had a pretty easy one.
Yeah.
So we probably would be undefeated like the Steelers if had an easy schedule like them. Obviously, that's not the case.
Yeah, and
I don't think the Steelers are going to go undefeated.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Steelers. I haven't talked about the Steelers much on this channel, but in my personal opinion, they're not as good as their record shows because some teams, their level of play isn't exactly shown by their record. The Chiefs obviously are 7-1, but are clearly the best team in the league. And then you look at a team like the Steelers who are 8-0. They're undefeated, obviously, so that would make you think they're the best team in the NFL. But they've had a super easy schedule, and they continue to have an easy schedule after this week and beyond. So the Steelers, they're 8-0 right now, which doesn't make me feel good, because obviously we want that number one seed, seeing as there's only one first round bye. So that's the thing about this year. It's kind of weird. The playoff picture is a little strange. So we really want to make sure that we beat that Steelers team out. We just got to hope that they lose a game at some point. And I think, in my personal opinion, we will. And we do have an easy schedule going on because I think our two toughest games after this point is the Buccaneers and the Saints. So hopefully we win those games, and I think we will end up winning those games against the Buccaneers and the Saints. So that's how I feel about the Steelers, and I can't really say anything other than, hopefully they lose a game at some point. But anyway, I'm going to talk about something that I've actually been kind of wanting to talk about on this channel. Obviously, I talked about Le'Veon Bell being on this team and, the impact that I think he's had. But I'm going to talk about the way that our team has played this past couple of weeks in the rushing attack because if you look at the numbers, they haven't been very good. And,
No.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody who, watches the Chiefs and knows about Le'Veon Bell being an addition to our team, would look at that and say, well, obviously he hasn't had a good impact. But I'm starting to think because, in these past two games against the Jets and then the past game that we had against the Panthers, Patrick Mahomes just absolutely went off. And that almost makes me think, maybe these teams are starting to worry a little bit too much about our rushing attack. And maybe the addition of Le'Veon Bell is helping that out. Obviously, seeing as he is a former All-Pro running back, he hasn't done much, physically, on our team exactly, but mentally he is making an impact, I think, on our defense. Your thoughts on the impact that Le'Veon Bell's had so far?
Well, I feel like he's jumbled up our offense a little bit. I feel like Clyde Edwards-Helaire is probably one of the best rookies to ever hit this team for sure. He's really good. I don't think they expected him to be as good as he is. Same thing with McCole Hardman. We didn't know he's going to be that fast, but obviously he's a great addition to the team. He's about in every single play that we run, offense-wise, obviously. And they also put him on special teams. He's great on special teams. He's really good at taking that ball down the field past the 25-yard line, 30-yard line at least. So, I don't know. I feel like Le'Veon Bell was, and, I feel like he was just ring chasing. I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah, exactly.
Because he was either going there or some other, crappy team. But, just I don't think he was super important to sign on behalf of the Chiefs organization. And I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is just way better than him. So, but while he was talking about Le'Veon Bell, I pulled up the Steelers' schedule. I feel like the only hard games they have are Week 12, which is against the Ravens again.
Yeah.
I feel like they're probably going to win that anyways because the Ravens are not that great at important games, as you could see with them last time against the Steelers and against us, the Chiefs. They also, going against the Bills, the Colts, Bengals.
The Bills and the Colts are a little iffy. They're two solid teams, but Steelers, seeing as I'm not saying they're a bad team. They're 8-0, obviously.
Yeah.
They're a good team. They're a good
good
solid team. I wouldn't say they're the best team, obviously, but I think they're a good, solid team. And
Yeah.
I think against the Bills and the Bills and the Colts, those could be pretty solid games. I mean, those could be pretty close games. And I think as long as either the Bills or the Colts pulls out one of those games, hopefully the Ravens does something. The Ravens they have 2 losses, so as long as the Chiefs win out, we got the Ravens beat. So Steelers right now are really our only concern, and as long as they lose one of those games against either the Ravens, the Bills, or the Colts, I think we're pretty much set to get that first round bye and make a good run at the Super Bowl. So that's kind of the schedule right there, and that's really how I feel about this Chiefs defense going in, or this Chiefs team going into the playoffs. Because overall, I think we got a good shot. And I was actually looking at these stats. Hold up, I think I accidentally. But anyway, they had a percentage. They had a stat regarding percentage.
21%.
Yeah, regarding percentage that we're going to make the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs are 21%, like he said.
Yeah.
And I think the second best team were the Ravens at 16%.
Yeah.
And I think everybody pretty dang well knows that the Chiefs are gonna rerun. They're gonna run it back.
Yeah, they're gonna run it back.
Exactly. We're gonna get another ring this year, especially with this crazy world that we live in right now. I think the Chiefs. The one thing that stayed consistent is they've just been a solid team. So that's the one thing I think we can all expect from this Chiefs team. But I'm going to actually just talk about, because we always talk about the good things that the Chiefs are doing, but I'm going to focus on a couple of bad things that I think the Chiefs are doing, because right now we're struggling with our run defense overall, and I think we can probably pull out some stats right here, rushing defense stats. I'll link the website that we're using in the description below. So we got opponent. Well, that's not going to show us. We got rushing defense, and like I said, Chiefs are among the worst in the league. And being able to stop the run. So right here, you look at NFL team opponent rushing yards per game. Tampa Bay at number 1. That's actually kind of surprising. But you go all the way down to the list, and we got Kansas City at number 28. We've allowed an average of 138.4 rushing yards per game, which is absolutely atrocious. And you look at this Chiefs defense; they've been struggling, throughout the time that Patrick Mahomes has been quarterback. They obviously picked it up at the end of last year. To get us on that amazing Super Bowl run. And, so far this year, it's just been kind of iffy. Our pass defense has really made up for it, but our run defense has just been absolutely awful. And we have played some tough guys. We did play Josh Jacobs with the Raiders. We did play Christian McCaffrey last week. So we've had some tough opponents, but overall, I think that's just absolutely inexcusable. Our ability to stop the run has just been absolutely non-existent so far this year. So your thoughts on that, just not being able to stop the run?
Yeah, being number 28 on that's pretty bad. Just like Braden said, he pretty much said it all. We need to pick up our defense. I feel like that's why we lost the Raiders game, is because we just simply failed to stop them. But the Raiders has really strong players, and they're able to truck pretty much any team who's trying to stop them by running. It's I feel like the Raiders, basically, most of their receivers could qualify as tight ends because they're just so, built, and they're really strong players. And I mean, not mentally, physically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just couldn't stop them that week. But about, what is this? Last 3 games, allowed 124 yards. That's not very good.
That's a little bit of an improvement, though. You look at it, 138 to 124.
Yeah,
that's an interesting stat right there. They pretty much got it all right here on this website. So it looks like we have slightly improved over the past couple of games, but we did play Christian McCaffrey, and he has an impact in the rushing attack, and obviously also in the passing attack, as you guys saw against the Panthers. So. But yeah, overall, I mean, that's something we definitely need to improve. But you look at this team, and it's like, you look at our defense. We've got so many guys that on paper should be absolutely dominant on all aspects of the game. Chris Jones being on that D line,
yep.
And Frank Clark being on the end. I mean, how?
Well, Chris Jones is out right
now.
Yeah,
more of a pass rusher. But being able to stop the run is important, and I think we've got a lot of guys who on paper should be able to handle those duties, but. Anthony Hitchens, a couple of our linebackers, they've had problems with being able to stop running backs. Anthony Hitchens, being known as one of our best tacklers on the team, hasn't done much this year in terms of being able to stop the run, and I think that's a huge problem. So, and you also look at Tyrann Mathieu, who's been leading, our defense in the backfield, being able to stop passing attack. And that's why we're among the best in the league when it comes to that. I will pull up the stats for that because I do believe we're either first or second in the league in being able to stop the pass. I think, and I think even you look at the game against Baltimore when Lamar Jackson just had an absolutely terrible game. He's not really known as a guy who can throw the ball very well. He likes to run a lot. So Lamar Jackson not having a very good game, I think, is common. But him only having 90 something yards in that game was
I believe he didn't even hit 100 passing yards in that game.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, and I think they did say, it was probably, one of the worst games for Lamar Jackson overall.
Yeah, he had a really bad game that day.
Yeah, so in terms of NFL team opponent completions per game, so this is basically just saying, how many times the opponent that we faced completed a pass, basically, in an entire game. The Chiefs are ranked 8th in that category, so with an average of 21.3 completions per game. So that's pretty solid. Last 3 games, actually, we've been struggling. 26 completions per game. Teddy Bridgewater had a nice game last week, and I think that's probably has a lot to do with that. But 21.3 is a really good number for that. New England actually is at number 1.
We've improved in the last 3 games about... Or is that
no, that's not improved. Yeah.
Okay, it's not improved.
Yeah, this stat is for times that the opponent has caught the ball. So 26 is not good. 21 is better. Yeah, so
we've gone down in the last 3 games for sure.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, so I'll have to pull up the stats for that because I know we faced Teddy Bridgewater who had a lot of completions, but I don't know what those other 2 games were about. I mean, obviously they were both wins. So another stat to look at, obviously, our offense. We all know how absolutely dominant they are.
Yep.
Passing attempts, completions. Incompletions, that's interesting. I might click on that, see how we're doing incompletions per game. The Chiefs looks like we are 18th in the league in incompletions per game. Yeah, so that's below average, but I think that that's because Patrick Mahomes throws the ball a lot. So I wouldn't necessarily say that's a bad thing. 12 is pretty solid, I would say.
Chiefs is a throwing team for sure.
Exactly, yeah. Having Patrick Mahomes makes you a throwing team. So passing yards per game, we're gonna look at the stat. Seattle at number 1. That's kind of a little bit of a surprise. Russell Wilson obviously is a very solid quarterback. Yeah. 298 passing yards per game. But number 2, you already know who it is. It's the Kansas City Chiefs at 295 yards per game. So and you look at our last 3 games, 332. And that's obviously because Patrick Mahomes has just been having an absolute monster
above Seattle.
Season. So yeah, above Seattle. We're creeping up to Russell Wilson and Seattle. So Kansas City, obviously, we all know how dominant the offense is. Patrick Mahomes being on our team makes us a very solid passing team, and these stats are really showing us that even without looking at the play of Patrick Mahomes, we can see that on the stats, looking at the numbers that he is dominating this league. So that's all I really got to say about the Chiefs team overall. The last thing I want to talk about. So I didn't really tell you I was going to talk about this, but I was watching, an ESPN, First Take episode last night, and Stephen A. Smith, a very widely respected sports analyst, was talking about Patrick Mahomes and comparing him to Aaron Rodgers. He said, this isn't a direct quote, but he said something along the lines of, Patrick Mahomes at no point in his career has ever been able to do something that Aaron Rodgers hasn't ever been able to do, and that's something that me personally I disagree with. So basically, what he's saying is Patrick Mahomes so far in his career hasn't done anything in his entire career that Aaron Rodgers hasn't been able to do. And I look at that, and here's my argument to that. I don't think that's true. And just based off of stats, not even talking about the way that these 2 players play, just based off of stats, Patrick Mahomes right now, he's got 25 touchdowns and 1 interception. No quarterback in the entire history of the league has been able to do that. I mean, just based off stats, that's 1 point right there that a solid argument against Stephen A. Smith's point. Because no quarterback's ever been able to do that. Patrick Mahomes, he's only been in this league for 3 years. Aaron Rodgers has had his entire career to try and do something like that, and he's never been able to do it. Obviously, you look at the weapons on Patrick Mahomes' side. Andy Reid, having him on the team, and then a ton of weapons around him, obviously, gives him a little bit of an edge there. But just the fact that he was able to do that, and nobody ever in the history of the NFL has been able to do that, really shows that Patrick Mahomes is above anybody, above Aaron Rodgers. I mean, come on. And then you look at the way that they play. Like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's, this isn't, a blow to Aaron Rodgers. I think he's an awesome quarterback. One of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. Exactly, yeah. He's got incredible arm talent, Aaron Rodgers does. And we saw that last year when he played the Chiefs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was out during that game, but Aaron Rodgers had incredible arm talent, made some crazy throws that we often see Patrick Mahomes make. But Patrick Mahomes, when you look at him play, I mean, his ability to escape the pocket and extend plays is something that Aaron Rodgers can't do. Just simply can't do. And that's not saying Aaron Rodgers can't do it at all. He just can't do it as well.
He can't do it as well.
Exactly.
Mahomes is really good at like seeing the pocket, seeing who's coming at him, seeing who's open, who's not open, who to throw to, who not to throw to. I think Patrick Mahomes is probably one of the best to ever do that in the entire time.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
The NFL's been alive.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, of course, just like any other sport, it sort of changes over the years. But I think Patrick Mahomes is really, really, really good at reading the entire defense.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's why he's such a great quarterback. And obviously, that's why he scrambles so much. You see him go this way and then go out the other way and then throw it. He does that a lot, and he's really good at doing it. So.
And it's something you almost never see from Aaron Rodgers. I mean, when do you see him darting around the field, looking for someone to throw to like that? And that's, I think, the unique ability of Patrick Mahomes and why he is above Aaron Rodgers right now at this moment because and I think, overall in their entire careers, Patrick Mahomes right now is above, prime Aaron Rodgers because he's never been able to do that. He's never been able to escape the pocket and make crazy throws like that. Patrick Mahomes is just an incredibly athletic human being. And Aaron Rodgers, not to say that he isn't athletic, because he definitely is.
Yeah.
He's nowhere near as athletic as Patrick Mahomes.
It's kind of like the whole debacle when Peyton Manning was in the NFL. Peyton Manning was a really good quarterback, but that guy could not run.
Yeah.
He could not run at all.
Exactly, yeah.
So, it's the same with Aaron Rodgers. He just has a really accurate arm, but he's not that, great mobility-wise.
Yeah. I think he's better than Peyton Manning mobility-wise.
He is for sure.
Yeah. And the thing about Aaron Rodgers, where his talent lies is in his arm. Not necessarily. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes has a ton of arm talent. I would say, regarding arm talent, they're pretty much equal, I would say. But Aaron Rodgers, he just doesn't possess that ability to extend plays, and he obviously can, in a sense, but not nearly as well as Patrick Mahomes can. If you have a horrible offensive line and you're going into a football game, I mean, who would you rather have? A guy like Patrick Mahomes who can be mobile, in behind the line of scrimmage and still make these crazy throws, or would you rather have a guy like Aaron Rodgers who, for the most part, stays in the pocket and he does what he needs to try and make these crazy plays. But there's nobody else in the history of the league that I'm trusting more or less than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the guy that I'm trusting over everybody.
I feel like Patrick Mahomes has changed the passing game over the 3 years that he's been in the NFL, based on the fact that you don't have to throw the ball like this. You can throw it this way, underhand, either which way. Was it his rookie year or was it 2018 that he threw with his left hand?
That was 2018. Yeah, he was run
threw with his left hand. So just to get it away from the defense, he threw it with his left hand just because he could.
Exactly. He does all these risky, crazy things that not normal quarterbacks would even fathom doing. But
they don't even think about it.
Exactly. Yeah, but he just does it because he does what he needs to do in order to make the play, and that's a unique ability. And I think, like you said, it has changed the league because I think it changes the draft stock. You look at a guy like Justin Herbert, who in last year's draft was projected to go 6th, and he did end up going 6th to the Chargers. And you look at his build, you look at the way that he throws the ball, it's similar to Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. And those guys are really on the rise right now because, Patrick Mahomes was overlooked heavily in that 2017 draft because he was a guy who was looked at as, kind of a risk taker, a guy who made a lot of mistakes throwing the ball because he just kind of, people just looked at him and they were like, oh, well, he just kind of does whatever he wants. He just throws the ball down the field. That's all he does. But you look at a guy like Patrick Mahomes and similar guys too. I mean, Justin Herbert is showing this year that those guys, they're not necessarily like that. They don't necessarily make the mistakes that you would expect them to make. Patrick Mahomes has 1 interception right now. We're halfway through the season. That's absolutely unheard of as a starting quarterback to only have 1 interception. And at the same time, leading the league in passing touchdowns and passing yards. I believe he's second or first. I'm not entirely sure what his stat is there.
He's second, I think.
Yeah, in passing I think Aaron Rodgers is actually pretty close to him in passing touchdowns. So you can go ahead and look that up right now.
Well, I think Patrick Mahomes is second in passing yards.
Oh, is he
total? And the
and doing all that with 1 interception is something.
The
that's
Atlanta Falcons quarterback, I forgot his name, is first.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan is first in that.
Yeah, Matt Ryan and the Falcons having a horrible year.
Yeah,
but they're
like
still
always.
Yeah, exactly. Matt Ryan, he's still playing well.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's throwing for about 2,700 yards. Pat Mahomes on him 2,687.
Yeah. So
then you got Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, and Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't expect Teddy Bridgewater to be up there.
And we got Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the top 5 for rushing yards.
Yeah, that's nice. And And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I don't think he's going to end up finishing in that top 5 ranking though, just because of the fact that he has to share carries with Le'Veon Bell now. But I think he's still a solid guy, and he's obviously doing a lot with the carries that he's getting. He's got a very good yards per carry when you look at the stats. But yeah, I mean that's all I really got. If you wanted to add something to Chiefs chat in this episode, that's all I really felt like talking about.
Travis Kelce is also top 5 in receiving yards as well.
Oh, is he really? Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Number 4 or
number 3?
Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Above him, you got DK Metcalf, which he's a great player, and then you got Stephon Diggs.
Oh wow, yeah.
I love Stephon Diggs.
He's on my fantasy team, so no complaints there.
Yeah.
But Travis Kelce, wide receivers normally dominate that stat. Being able to catch the ball and obviously create yards. But Travis Kelce being up there, that's pretty surprising.
Yeah. Going back to Justin Herbert, I love that guy. He's a cool quarterback. I feel like he has a crap ton of potential. I see him on a lot of fantasy football teams for sure, because he's a really good quarterback. Yeah. So yeah, that's about all I have to add. I love that guy.
Yeah, exactly. So
even though he's in our division and against us, I love him.
Yeah,
he's a good quarterback.
I'm gonna end up hating him probably over time because he's probably gonna beat the Chiefs a couple times.
Yeah,
he's like you said, he's got a ton of potential. So kudos to Justin Herbert, I guess. But that's all we got for Chiefs Chat episode 14. Trintan Hendrix, he's a great guy, a fantastic person, and I'm super happy he was able to do this Chiefs Chat with me. So anyway, we'll see you guys in the next Chiefs Chat episode 15. Peace out.